Well, thank you, Father Aidan, for joining us for an interview regarding the event of the St. Cecilia Concert to take place here. Wondering if we can start out with some biographical details on yourself. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up and your role here at St. Anselm Parish now.
Okay, yeah, so I'm born and raised here in St. Louis, I joined the monastery a little over 20 years ago and was ordained in 2015, and I've been the pastor here at St. Anselm for a little over 4 years now. So.
Okay. From your perspective as a monk and a priest, what's the role of sacred music in the Catholic life?
So for the Catholic life and for our spiritual life, sacred music is something that lifts us out of the natural world in our everyday life and draws us up to heaven. Really, that's what it's for. And here at St. Anselm, we're an archdiocesan parish, but we're run by Benedictines. So we say that we're a Benedictine parish. And the liturgy and sacred music are a big part of our life. And just in the history of the church and the Benedictines, the tradition of Gregorian chant and sacred music, which is some of what we'll hear in the concert, comes from the Benedictines and St. Gregory the Great himself. So just to try to expose our parishioners and people that come to the abbey and the parish to that beauty and goodness, just for their own spiritual growth.
Yeah. So from your perspective, if you're thinking about what the experience is for the listener, what's the difference for the listener who is experiencing sacred music versus just turning on the radio or putting in their earbuds and listening to their iPad?
Mm-hmm. I think it's more of when we're listening to sacred music, even if it's not necessarily in a church, it's a form of prayer and meditation, and it's something that we're kind of forced naturally and supernaturally to kind of enter into and engage with in an intentional way, as opposed to just turning on the radio, having it in the background, and more of a passive listening, and filling up the silence with kind of just more noise. I think listening to sacred music feeds the heart and uplifts our hearts to the supernatural life, the spiritual life, and a little glimpse of heaven. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you draw the line between active and passive posture. So what would you say for folks that haven't experienced sacred music? What should they be looking for? What should they be listening for when they hear sacred music, maybe for the first time, or maybe they're hearing music that they've heard something like this before, but they didn't know it was a difference, that they should be engaging with it differently? Is there something about the music itself that you would point them to and say, here's your entry point?
Yeah. With sacred music and chant, I'm harping on that, the Benedictine connection there, but just the orderedness of it and the harmony of it, and there's a what's the word? Yeah, there's like a structure, but not in a rigid way, that you kind of enter into, as opposed to some like secular music is kind of erratic and disordered, and even it stays in your mind and heart in a distractive way, as opposed to the sacred music, and it feeds your spirit and your heart, and I guess to listen for that. I mean, the harmony and the objective beauty of it, and then the words, right? I mean, I think most of what we're going to hear is going to be in Latin, but just to listen with your heart. St. Benedict says to listen with the ear of your heart, like that line. And to enter into it as a prayer, right from the beginning. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
A totally unique experience that you're describing. Like nothing, it's very extraordinary that way. Mm-hmm. And I think if one were to walk into the church and hear sacred music, they would notice there's something different.
Yeah.
But when you put the meaning behind it, and now you're asking the listener, I want you to engage here. I want you to climb as you listen, right, attentively. Mm-hmm. I think is something along the lines of what you're describing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're, because prayer, right, prayer is hard, right, and where, our own weakness in our natural bodies and minds and hearts, trying to enter into something sacred, there's kind of like a friction because of our sinfulness and our weakness, but the Lord wants us to persevere and to, and He's gonna give us consolations too, along with that. And just listening to beautiful music is gonna be a consolation in itself, just kind of on this level. But again, entering into it in a prayerful way, it even brings it deeper into us and transforms us.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, everybody, be sure to stay tuned on FRESHImage.org, where Father has some beautiful insights to share with us on a whole wide range of topics.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And visit our website, FRESHImage.org, to become a Fresh Image Insider and have our latest resources delivered directly to your inbox.
Until next time, this is Fresh Image, reminding you that you were created to live life to its fullest,
so that you might be a breath of God's fresh, life-giving air to the world.